Hey, what's going on out there? This is Wayne with Tri-County Locksmith Service, and today we're checking out the A1 Security Manufacturing Corp Pak-A-Punch key cutter system. Now, let me go into a little bit of explanation about why I purchased this. I don't do that much automotive stuff. I don't really make automotive keys that much, so why would I purchase this system? Well, here's why. Currently, I have the HPC Blitz 1200 key cutting machine, and it's a great machine. Cuts keys perfect. It's durable. Two problems with it: it makes a ton of brass shavings, and it requires electricity, and it's mounted to my vehicle. I guess three problems. I wanted a system. Number one, Schlage and Kwikset are the number one keys that I cut the most of, specifically Schlage. The SC1 and SC4 keyway is what I cut all the time. So that's what I want to eliminate having to use my key machine for. Number two, if I need to go cut keys on location, I can take a system like this with me to that location. So even though this was originally designed for automotive key cutting and key punching, I've integrated it into the residential and commercial application where it's going to give me some distinct advantages. A couple of numbers for you guys. This one I think ran me $340 for the kit, $340 for the A1 Pak-A-Punch itself. And then in order to cut Schlage keys, you will need this part. Here's your part number, PS or PKS90S. This is going to be the punch that you're going to have to replace. This is also part of the kit. This kit is an additional $140, which is fine. But you're going to need this stuff to be able to make this work. And we're going to go over the transition on this here in just a minute. Okay, so I told you why I got it. No brass, no electricity, cuts keys faster, and I can cut them on location. I can bring the key cutting machine with me. I can cut it right there at the lock. I can try it out. I can move on. I can go about my day. So we're going to go ahead and open this thing up. I'm really not one to, pull apart and read through this gigantic thing of instructions, so I just kind of stumbled through it to get it converted over, and I'm going to go over that with you right now. When you get your Pak-A-Punch, you're going to get this, you're going to get this, and you're going to get this little accessory kit with some ball bearings, which are going to be important, ball bearing, and this little Allen wrench. You get two ball bearings, but I'm going to leave the other one in there. So here's what we need to do to convert this over. Okay, you're going to take your Allen wrench. First of all, we need to see the parts that we're going to be replacing. The PKS90S kit is going to have the cutter and the die for it. So basically this has to fit in here and that has to fit in there. Okay, so where that's going to be replaced on here is right here. You're just going to unscrew this dial. Okay, very easy. That's going to come off. This is going to slide out of the bottom. That's going to let this chamber release right here. Okay, so we want to make sure we keep this stuff together, but keep it separate. So I'm going to set this in the original box. We're now going to release the die. Go ahead and pull these screws. Okay, that is going to let the die come off. Since this one goes with this one, it's going to go right in the box. Now, new die, triangle goes up, the flat goes against the back of it, like so. Okay, so we're going to push these screws back. I'm going to set that in there, just like so. And then I'm going to take our new cutter. Our new cutter is going to go easily, just like this, right in here. And I'm actually going to slide it all the way up into the die. Okay? And that's going to hold it in place for me. So I'm going to very loosely tighten these. I'm going to get them started, but I'm not going to crank them down all the way yet. And here's why. We're going to need to make some adjustments so that that cutter fits directly in there. but it's hard to push because it's spring-loaded, okay? So we're going to need to reinstall this. The wheel goes against the cutter, just like so, until they line up. We can see right here. And we reinstall this thumb screw. Okay, tighten that all the way down. Now we can then loosen these up just a little bit more. Now we can squeeze and move this. I'm moving this around with my hand, with my fingers, till that goes all the way in. Okay, once it goes all the way in, I'm going to hold it there, and then I'm going to tighten these screws down. Okay. There we go. You don't need to be super tight. I just want to make sure that it's not going to come loose very easily. So those are going to stay right there. Make sure that everything's free-flowing and operating smooth. Okay? That should be going directly in there. If you can see that. You can see that it's going in. And it's fully inserting itself all the way. Alright. Now for the rest of this. To put this together, you're going to need your ball bearing. Okay? Ball bearing is going to go right up in top here. Okay? Just like so. I don't know if you can see that or not without me dumping it out, but it is in there. It's right up here. Okay? Next thing we're going to need. We're going to need this. We're going to need our kit. We're going to need this. Okay? That ball bearing is sitting in each one of these grooves. That's what kind of holds it there. Okay? So we're going to just put that in there. And you can feel that we can move it around a little bit. And we're going to put this piece directly into here. Okay? All that does is just screw right in. And this is our depth. This is setting the depth. Okay? You can feel it click. I like to go ahead and tighten this screw down just a little bit until it feels like it's holding it nice and firm. Because when you're on your top settings and your bottom setting, like your 1 and 2, it's going to be a little loose. Okay? So I just like to set it right about here to where I can move that back and forth very easily. Okay? Again, everything's moving nice. Now we can feel that. It locks it in the position. This is our depth setter right here. Now you've got your key holder. Okay? This is going to show you where the keys go, and this is going to be where the key goes. Take our Schlage SC1 keyway, install on the opposite side of the teeth. The gear is going to run this back and forth here. You want to install the key on this side. The shoulder of the key will set in this little groove. Okay? That's where you're lining everything up off of, right here. So that's how that's supposed to go right in there. Then you're going to tighten this down. Okay? Tighten. Then it's going to be inserted just like so. The gear is going to run along the gear here. There's a cog on this wheel. That needs to in line with this. And you want the nice free-floating edge, the swooping edge, to be the one that goes in first. That's where it's going to help everything line up. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually cut this key out. Okay? So I'm going to make this key just a super easy key. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here, feeling this, you're actually going to be able to see the numbers back here. Okay? So that's going to be 1. Now, you don't need to line up the line perfectly lined up with this right here. It actually has like a notch. Okay? So you can feel that you can move that around, but it also has a spot where it just kind of catches. Okay? So that's going to be the numbers that we want. So there's going to be 1, and then I'm going to do the cut. Okay? All we do is squeeze the trigger. 1, 1. And the little piece drops out. Okay? Now we're going to go to number 2. we're just going to turn. That's setting number 1, that's setting number 2. I'm going to turn this to number 2, just like so. 2. Okay. We're going to do 3, 3, 4, and 4 is going to show up over here now. Okay, you can see the 4. So we were looking on this side for our numbers. Now it's going to be right there. Oop. Okay, so that will be 4. Setting is 4 here. Very good. We're going to set it to number 5. And we're going to set this to number 5. Okay. And look at the piece of brass that we're going to get out of this. So this is what we're going to have. I can do this over my brass bucket. And these are the kind of shavings that we're going to have, not the little metal splinters that go into your hands. We can take this and we can rub this in. It's not going to do anything. It's not those little shavings and those little splinters that get to you. So that can just go in the brass bucket. We can now remove the key, take the key out, and we'll go ahead and put this on our depth gauge and make sure that it's the correct key. Okay? Also, doesn't really need to be brushed. No millings and no rough edge, no rough back edge. So that's another step that we're taking out of the process. Got our Schlage decoder. 1, 2, 3, 4. My hand's probably in the way, but 5. Okay, so our depth spacing, or our depth is good on all of these cuts. Okay, now we're going to take it to the next level here. We've actually got a lock cylinder keyed up in that particular order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and look, it's perfectly smooth, perfectly level, so that means that our spacing is all now correct. Okay, so this is how you need to calibrate it and set it up to make sure that you know you're getting the same cuts and that you're operating it in the correct manner. We have some other keys cut here. This one was cut on our HPC Blitz machine, so this was my control because I know this key is dead on. Okay, so we cut this key out to make sure that we could have this as a control, and obviously we have the same results. We're going to go ahead and lock this up. Works. Works. That's our control key. Here's our freshly cut key. Works like a charm. So everything has been tested out. Everything has been measured. The spacing has been measured. The depths have been confirmed. And now this is a very useful piece in my arsenal. I can take this and I can take it out and go right to the location of the lock and cut some keys out right then and there. You know, I really just hate cutting a bunch of keys because there's not really a whole lot of money in it. When you think about it, you know, you make a $3 or $4 key, you don't really make a whole lot of money. But this way, now, we can do it faster, we can do it better, we can do it more efficient. So for this whole setup, we got 340 and we got 160, so we're at about 500 bucks to be able to get away from power, get away from brass shavings, and get away from the being tied to the van. So we're going to go check this out. We're going to do a speed test on this. I'm going to cut 3 keys on here, and I'm going to cut 3 keys on my Blitz, and we'll see which one is actually faster and which one is more efficient. So thanks, and check it out.